All right, guys. Looks like the number is moving. And I am back for another painting session. I'm gonna paint for 30 minutes and I'm gonna correct, any sort of mistakes and errors. I've done mostly mid-tone values, and what I've noticed about how students have been approaching this painting is they went dark right away. Which was interesting to me because I was like, maybe kids aren't mixing, right? They don't feel like mixing, they don't want to mix. Right, so I'm going to just make sure everything's set up for this demo. You need obviously your brushes, you need a paper towel, you need cups of water. I have a cup of water right here, even though it's off camera. And I have my value scale. I'm noticing that my students have not been correcting, checking their colors with their value scale. Okay, what I do, I want to see a painting with a full range of values. Like, that is definitely something that I want. Sorry, I was responding to a text. Okay, hopefully we're all set up and I'm making sure that it's still rolling. I'm gonna actually just set up my paint right here. Obviously you need a lot of white. Right, you need a lot of white and you need some black, hardly any black. And I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep working at it. And again, the goal of this is to show that we have a consistent light source. So again, this is an uncut painting session. A lot of students don't watch the videos, but there is a difference between like how you use a flat brush and when to use a round brush. Make sure also you're cleaning your paints. Flat brushes you should use for bigger areas, okay? Round brushes you should use for shorter areas. And this is actually, this is for like a bigger area. This actually right here, this is a flat brush. So I wanna use that like for a flat space. If you wanna get a really like detailed area, right? Like an edge, you may wanna use a round brush. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's self-monitor. Looking right here, I feel like, it's not clear where the light is coming from because these two values look the same. So I'm going to correct that mistake. So I'm going to get some lighter values. I feel like this side would be lighter. So make sure you take the time to mix. I think I'm going to mix some number 2 first. So I dip some water. I have a lot of white. I'm going to put in a dot of black and mix it. So see how it's hardly any paint, right? And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna compare. Okay, that's actually my real number 2, right? Because I decided that this is too big of a jump. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in and watch how I'm painting flat with the flat brush. And look, I could kind of like go to the edge with the flat brush. Okay, one thing I'm seeing is I'm not seeing very clean boundaries, right? So make sure you go in and look, I have black still on this. So I'm gonna make sure I have just number 2. Testing with my value scale, it takes a lot of patience. Okay, that's my light number 2. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna clean that up. Okay, sorry, the tripod's broken. Please forgive me. This video is going to be uncut, so I can hear some of you rolling your eyes. You're like, you know what? I'm going to watch this. She's not a professional. I am. I just have a broken tripod. I'm literally holding the tripod together with tape. Still recording, great. Okay, so hopefully that doesn't happen because it's a waste of time. Make sure that this is flat and the color is even. So I just painted over a mistake. You're gonna make mistakes. You wanna go ahead and you wanna catch them. While I have this light color, I can find spaces where I feel like I should add more highlight, more light. And you want to go around and think like, okay, well, where is the light coming from? This value is kind of in between those values. And the light's coming from here. Okay, top corner. Okay, but I feel like this one would be at a darker value, so I'm not gonna go all out. Anywhere else I can use this value. Maybe on the front here. And I'm noticing I need a bigger brush. So I'm gonna take this bigger brush right here and fill in that space. Again, it's not super loaded. And try to make your edges as clean as possible. Okay, filling in all that space. Maybe I'll get these 2 dots right here. Again, hardly any black. Okay, that's enough for now. I'm gonna pull over some more white. Okay, but I think I'm gonna go to a darker value. So I'll take a dot of black, move it in, mix it. Okay, mix it all up. Okay, see how quickly that comes down. Okay, I'm going for my number 3. Let me mix this, make sure that this brush is just loaded with my number 3. Okay, working with 2 brushes. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna test it. This number 2 is actually my real number 3 because I went too dark with the value scales. So that is a little darker. I'm not sure how much darker that is, but I do, because my light is coming in from the right. Do you want to get this? Okay, clean edges. A lot of us have to work on clean edges. Deep breaths, breathe in, breathe out. Okay. So going down, okay, this side is actually, should be like the same light as the blocks down here. I'm making sure it's all on camera so you can see. So going right to the edge of the form. Now I saw that some kids were outlining their painting in black, or like their forms in black. Don't do that. Like, don't overuse black. Oh, I just made a mistake. It's okay. Okay, this is also the same side of the block. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some colors. Now around the circles, I didn't do a clean boundary around these circles that I drew. So I'm gonna clean that up. Clean boundary around the circles. Okay, I just got a phone call. Is it still filming? Yeah, the counter's still on. Now I'm noticing that all of a sudden these circles are disappearing. That means that there's not enough contrast between the values. So I might want to bring it up. Can I go ahead and mix here more of a number 1? Yeah, there we're bringing that up. But I want there to be a boundary between these 2 sides. Like I want there to be contrast there, but I do want there to be a contrast with those circles. So I might bring those down. Okay. Smooth edges. So again, you could start to see different values. Okay, this is a little lighter than this one, so I might add a highlight right there. How does that look? Adding a highlight. All right. I feel like I'm rocking and rolling a little. I do have a form over here that I haven't paid much attention to. So I could go back, I could clean this up a little, because I probably ran out of time. So I'm gonna clean this up a little and make these values a little bit more flat so I don't have any sort of streakiness. Okay, sorry I'm not talking, but sometimes it's nice to just be quiet. All All right, so that's all flat. And already you may be feeling a little tired, but you need to charge on. So again, this left side, the light's coming in from here. So this value is probably gonna be the same as this. So I'm gonna move up. Okay, so I cleaned that up. Okay, so the light's coming in from here. And I changed where my light source was coming from because I got the shading wrong. Oh, I just went over my angle. Okay, I'm responding to one of your texts. One of you just texted me. Okay, well, I have all of this highlight, this light color. I'm gonna go ahead. I feel like it's in the middle of these two values. And I feel like we've been obsessing about blending. Maybe we don't need to do that. We just have so many different values and such subtle changes that can kind of help with the transition. So I see a value that's in between these two values, so I'm gonna work on it. Okay, I may take a break from this color right now. Maybe I'll pause, see if it's the right color for the background. Maybe use a little bit of extra water to kind of make sure that I am covering the background. My values are a little inconsistent in the background. I've heard you guys complain about streakiness. So some of my values are inconsistent. You want to have a patterned background. Right? Some kind of pattern, some kind of repetition. This is alternating rhythm. So why am I like switching back and forth? Why do I do the background? I noticed some of you do the background and you just did the background and you haven't even touched the forms. It gives us a break from doing the forms. The forms are the hardest part. Okay, I'm noticing right here, I have a similar value right here. Maybe I would see highlights there. I'm just kind of playing with that. You can always paint over it. Maybe up here I have a lighter value. So maybe I want to add a highlight up here. Just taking a break, doing some of the background. I'm noticing I don't have any paint here, so I have to come up with a color for this stripe. I think I'm just going to use this light white kind of color. And look right here, down here with these stripes. Like, watch me as I am slowly getting a smooth boundary, right? So we're seeing in paintings a lot of gaps. We don't want to see gaps. Oops, I just got black on my brush. So then the values. So there are some things that are happening, right, that I haven't taught you, or maybe I need to reteach you. I'm talking to some of you guys, you're like, I don't even know how to do this. So some reminders, you need to make a lot of the color, right? You should always make a lot of it, right? Because otherwise you'll be mixing all the time and all your values will be inconsistent. Coming in, smooth boundary. Okay, have I done anything with my dark value scale? Like, have I done any of these? No, right? I'm gonna do that in a second, but I'm using most of the paint that I have, right? While it's still on my brush. Okay, I'm gonna take a break with this lighter stuff, right? Because we gotta show that rigorous part, that productive struggle. I'm just making sure the numbers are still going. All right, so I do need to introduce some darker value, but I just thought of something. right? The tops of these teeth are all gonna have highlights, right? And I'm about to introduce darker value. So maybe I'll bring in some of this lighter value that I have. Maybe I'll make it a little dark, like a number 3. So I'm bringing in more of the white. You could see as I'm pulling that white in. So I got a lot of the white. Okay, and I'm bringing in some of this. That seems like that was a lot of black, right? So maybe I won't be able to do the highlights right now. Okay, so this is like my number 3, right? Let's test it to see if it's my number 3. Okay, see how it's my number 3? Woo! Just dropped my value scale on the ground. Awesome. So I'm going to use my number 3. Sorry, this brush was darker. So let me clean that up. Right, like people have been complaining they don't have smooth colors. Right, it's because you really have to make sure your color's mixed and done. I'm using 2 brushes, so going back and forth. Okay. So the tops of these teeth coming out probably have a highlight. So I'm going to go in with my lighter number 3, and I'm just going to give it a highlight. Okay, because the light's probably hitting on the top. Oops, just got some black in there. See if I can fix it. And there goes all my white. Let me add some water. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to put in that highlight. Okay, putting in the highlight. Putting in the highlight. Okay, going in, putting in the highlight, going back. Oh, I got streaks of different colors sneaking in. Too much medium on my brush. Putting in the highlight, putting in the highlight. Okay, so I have that highlight there to work with. Now I will bring down the value of this color. Ooh, that got super dark real fast. Make sure you mix. You take the time to mix. Okay. Now, I think that there would be more shadow there, so I'm actually not going to touch that right now. But I'm going to look for a space where I would find probably a darker value, right? So probably down here. Now I need to make sure that there's enough of change between this and this. But the light's coming from the top right. So I feel like it would be dark down there. And I'm just gonna color that whole thing, go all the way up to the edge because I have a lot of medium on my brush. I'm gonna like make some decisions about where I think there's gonna be more of a shadow. Now I really need a thinner brush for these details. So let me go in. Really load my round brush, go in and do some hatching. Hatching, 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 hatching to make it round. So curved lines. Again, getting some more water so I can move my brush more. Okay, curved lines. Curve, 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 curve. I feel like that's a little too wet. Curved, curved, curved. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this so there's more of a boundary there. And maybe add some lines going back. Okay, I bet you the bottom of this is a darker value, maybe like a number 5. So I'm mixing in, picking up my value scale from the ground. Mixing in my value scale. Okay, look, I was spot on, number 5. So I'm going to make the bottom of this L darker. Now, is there enough contrast? There's a lot of medium on that brush. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see when it dries. Maybe all these colors look the same. Okay, so I got to really get in there because I don't want to lose all of the angles and the perspective work I did. So So I'm gonna fix that angle. So in your final, we want to see a full range of values. So this is like my number 5. Really important that I check it. I feel like as I go back further into space, too, with these forms, it's going to get darker. So move around and ask yourself, around the page, ask yourself where you would find a number 5. Ooh, there's a lot of water on that brush. So I'm going to pull, see if there's too much water, it kind of makes a puddle and it's harder to draw with it. So I'm going to pull around there and add some hatching. Right? Why? Because I got a 1 and a 2 in there and a 3. And now there's so much water in this that this is a number 5, but I'm going to pull back. Okay, line, 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 line. Hatching. I feel like it would be really dark down there. Okay, and now I'm noticing the paint kind of has like a dry effect. So I'm getting more water and I'm loading my brush with more medium. Hatching, hatching, hatching. I'm working with the round, skinny brushes. Okay, and I feel like there's now too big of a jump. So maybe I have some lighter value, I'm putting that in. You're kind of squinting, you're making adjustments. Okay, now I'm going around. I got my number 5, my number 4. Where can I put that? Maybe here at the edge. This brush is too fat. I'm going to swap out brushes. See how I work with multiple brushes. Okay, maybe that. Always go in for a smooth edge. Okay, now this is a light. Is this a lighter value? Okay, where else can I put this darker color? Right, where could I put this darker color? I feel like this edge would be kind of dark, right? The bottom would be pretty dark. So I'm gonna get my flat brush and put in some darker value. It's interesting, I feel like I didn't prep you guys for this, right? And we're making mistakes, and that's okay. So I feel like this corner would be dark. Mistakes are okay because that's how we learn. So we're just going back and we're learning, we're fixing stuff. Okay, now I don't think it should be that dark at that edge, so I'm gonna hold off. I probably have some dark values right here in these crevices, right here, because there's a shadow there, right? Because I think the light's coming in from here, but this whole curve is blocking it. And you have to think about the other forms, like this floating triangle is blocking light right there. Okay, going back in, I'm noticing some of my edges are a little messy. Where can I add new edges? Can I make this circle darker so it pops out a little bit more? I've totally been neglecting this circle. This edge probably is a little dark. Still not working with black, but notice how that pops up when I put in these details. I am not working with black, but that looks really nice, right? Like when you start to work in those shadows and you're only changing the value a little bit. Okay, I'm skimming everywhere. Where am I gonna use this value? Now I'm thinking that this, because my light's coming in from here, I'm thinking this side is going to be dark. This might be too dark, I might have to take it back. Going all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge with my number 5. Okay, the light's on the right. Okay, I only paint for a few more minutes. No. How much more painting can I get in? Okay. So now that I have this number 5, maybe I want to bring down the value over here just a little on the edge instead of blending, right? Because you can't always blend with paint. Sometimes, like with paint, you're just changing the color a little. Maybe going in and adding like a bit of a darker edge right there to make that pop. Okay, other spaces. Maybe I can add some hatching on the side of the heart. Right? And you can find little areas where can you add more shading, right? So I'm looking all over the place, moving all over with my number 5 while I have it. So hatching is basically a collection of lines. So you can add in quick hatches with the paintbrush. Okay, I could add in some more shading right there. Maybe I want to come down here. Now the painting's starting to get real fun and now I have to go. It's such a bummer. I could add some hatches right here where it's starting to get dark. Dark right there. Maybe I want to add in some darker value right there. So I'm having all sorts of different colors in one spot. Okay, so the light is not hitting this side. I really should be working with my bigger brush, right? Don't torture yourself with working the wrong side of the brush. Maybe I want to bring that down a little. And don't torture yourself with trying to blend, just add another value. Okay, clean edge, clean edge, clean edge, clean edge. Okay, maybe the water and more medium will help me to get a clean edge. Clean edge, clean edge. Notice how when I add water, I get a lighter value. Clean edge, clean edge, clean edge. Okay, now notice how these dried the same. So I want there to be a jump between this side and this side, right? Because the light is hitting at a different side. So there has to be contrast right here in this edge. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fix that. Okay, before I go, because I have to stop, I wanna work a little with a darker value. Again, notice that I haven't used any black. While I have this on my brush, I'm gonna just fix this a little. This checkered pattern in the background is a mess. I really need to work with this. Okay, and I don't wanna lose this paint. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the black. And I'm gonna make, ooh, that got dark too fast. It's because I'm working too fast. Oh, what did I do? Okay, now I'm really gonna go ahead. Don't do this at home, kids, but I'm gonna try to go a little faster. Wow, that's too much medium. And look, so notice how like I'm working fast and now I'm getting all these streaks. Yes? So that's kind of like what we've been seeing in class, right? So then maybe I could put in some more hatching right there. Okay, but I'm gonna just try to use this flat color while I'm in this painting session of this darker value. I can add in hatching, I can layer shading on the top later. Okay, maybe I wanna have that shade right there. Okay, sloppy painting, slopping painting, but I'm still paying attention. Okay, and I'm still getting those boundaries, making sure those boundaries are clean so I'm not losing my form. Ooh, too fast, Rachel. No. Okay. Where are some other spaces where I could have this color? Maybe down here on this side, it would be this dark. So straight line on the edge, turn, go on the edge. Clean edge, clean edge. Okay, I don't know how happy I am with this clean edge. Okay, but notice how I'm not doing my, and I never checked my value. Awful, Miss Copera, awful. Let's go ahead. Where's my value scale? Working too fast. Because I gotta go get the kids. Lost my value scale. And I know, like, you guys like have your value scale like shut up in your sketchbooks, right? You lose it. Oh my gosh, guys, I literally lost my value scale. Let's see if I can find it. Is it under here? Is it under here? Where'd my value scale go now? Oh, yes, okay. It flew over here. This is what I want you to see you do. I want you to see you test your colors and find your value scale. Okay, see how this is my number 5? I was spot on. Actually, this is more my number 6. So I'm on number 6. So I actually, look, test, see? And I should see you testing it against it. Okay. Other places where I would put number 6, looking at the clock, I need to go. So stressful. Number 6, maybe more at the edge there. Maybe at the bottom. Maybe I need to finish off and add more of a clean edge right there. Clean edge on the side. Because again, I want there to be a strong boundary between there and there. Now this might be too dark. This might be too big of a jump. I'm kind of thinking like, I'm not sure if I like this. I might bring it up later. And you want to cover everything that you think is a number 6, getting some water, too much water. You want to cover it. Okay, some streaky, I find that I could do streakier lines, right? And the medium is working better when I have the gouache. Okay, all of these lines should be going down, so let me get a clean boundary. And look at this corner. Like there are gaps. There are gaps in my work. There shouldn't be gaps in your work. You need that clean edge. Okay, I feel like my brush is too loaded with water. So you could stop, you could dab it with paper towels if you have too much water in your brush. See, I have kind of like a puddle there. The struggle is real. But I'm going in and I'm bringing down the value because right here, you have to ask yourself, where is there no light? Well, there's not going to be any light there. Okay, shadow right there. Shadow right there. Okay, and I could go back in and I could add details later. Okay, shadow right there. But you should be like, okay, the light, it should, like when we look at your painting, we should be able to tell, oh, the light is on the, coming in from the left, right? We should be able to tell that. Okay, I need to make a decision about these colors right here. I think I'm gonna stop there. I'm just looking for any like annoying gaps. Smooth edges. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna model cleaning the brushes for you because people are not cleaning the brushes, but that's where I am right now with the painting. I'll take a selfie with it. Brush cleaning. Okay, because some people are skipping the whole process. It's a true story. Okay, put a little bit of paint right there. Okay, and I just want to say, like back to the gouache, you really, really need to, I'm serious, make sure, look at this, I killed a brush. Don't kill any of your brushes. Come back and show me that your brushes are still alive. See, I'm bringing it back to life. You really need to make sure you have the correct consistency with all of the paint. Oh, look at all of this paint that was sitting on this brush. It's a good thing that I'm doing this and you're seeing on camera. I'm catching stuff. The soap cuts the paint. But like, I feel like a lot of people, here are some mistakes people have made. They've gone dark too fast. Like they started with black. No. You should start with light while you're painting. Start with just your lights. Do your darks last. You should hardly use black at all. Like, don't use black at all. Oh my gosh. Start like, a lot of people aren't checking their value scale. Some people are using way too much water. Way too much. See, I still am working with the same soap. Okay, just checking this one, that one. Okay, where are my other brushes? Oh, I found a dead brush. Okay, look at this. Here's a brush that was left. Murdered brush. Bring it back to life. Bring in all of your brushes tomorrow. See? Brought it back to life. Okay, don't like kill the brushes like by decapitating them. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Okay, if you see that there's still gray on it, back to the drawing board. Okay. Oh, look, I still have some soap here. Can I make it so it's not gray anymore? Right, and you keep working at it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see how it dries. The colors dry differently. Taking off all the duct tape.